Hey, what is a cult, my naga? What is a cult cult? Who could tell me what a cult is, man? I woke up today, man. Great Shabbat rest. Hey, Shabbat Shalawam. Go on my IG, man. It's always you're always rolling the dice when you open up that meta, back to the meta. But I checked the IG and talked about being, oh, yeah, somebody looking at some Presta John drop. They said, oh, man, they a cult. Drop Nation, man, they just a cult. Now, this ain't the first time, this little slick word has been applied to a community of regular Negroes that are deciding to keep the cult, that are deciding to not kill, not steal, 10 Commandments. That's what we talk about. Exodus 20 got us in cult. They say, oh, man, they a cult, man. Drop, man. He a cult leader, man. I said, damn. So if we don't do shit, right? If we don't do shit, if we don't do nothing, then we're Nagas that just don't do nothing, right? We are don't do nothing Nagas, right? If we do something, like say, you know what, let's keep the 10 Commandments, let's not kill each other, let's keep the Most High over everything, my Naga, let's do some stuff like that. If we do that and say, hey, let's all start buying land together, let's start having some economic empowerment. They see you buying land, they see you on your own land, and they say, cult. Them niggas is a cult. They over there on land, putting up fence posts. I mean, what else could they be doing? What's going to go on inside that fence? I mean, what goes on inside your fence? You know what I mean? Some type of separation, some type of boundaries. Why would you put a privacy fence around your yard? Maybe you don't want the neighbors all in your business. Maybe you want to be a family. Maybe you want to break bread. You just want to put the Most High over everything, man. Love the Five Eyes, man. Get your mop pack one. Because I'm just popping them. Because he just popping them. What's a cult, man? I got some definitions of a cult. Let's see. Like I said, this ain't the first time. I remember back in 2016, somebody said some malarkey like this. And then we have to look it up and say, should we be offended? Should anyone be offended? It's very interesting, man. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't do nothing, you a don't do nothing ass Naga. You do something, you a cult, you they try to compare you to all these other situations, all these other people, because they see you buying land. First of all, when we talk Joy World, when we talk Naga, but we're not just talking about one piece of land. We're talking about thousands of acres of land that my Nagas already got or acquiring, already popping off for their families. Because when the stuff hits the fan in the cities, you want somewhere to rally. You want a rally point. Let's just have some common sense. You don't own these blocks. You don't own these cities. You don't own these buildings in your hood. You know what I'm saying? So you want to own something and you want to build, my noggin. Is that a cult? Or is that just like some type of cheap shot or something that you don't understand? Because the definition of a cult has a lot to do with your own perspective. How someone perceives you is where they really, getting this stigma. Oh, it's being perceived by that. By who? People on the outside. Now, yeah, there are some definitions of some crazy groups, and they've taken this terminology cult and they've attached them to all these crazy groups. But what's the definition? Just for fun, man. Shabbat Shalawam, I'm popping up, man. All right, Merriam-Webster. Not the I got the I got the 1828. Don't even trip. We're gonna make a dismount with that. A religion regarded as unorthodox. All right. So what's the definition of religion, man? First you gotta look that up and then come back here. All right. Regarded as unorthodox by who? Back to the interpretation perspective. Someone has to regard it as unorthodox, as, oh, that's different. Oh, they different. Let's keep going. Or spurious, its body of adherents a system of religious beliefs and rituals. So anybody in any culture that has a spirituality, that would be called a religious belief. That would be seen as unorthodox to your Christianity or whatever you consider orthodox or normal, Managa. Look up the definition of orthodox, then come back over here. Let's look at the Wikipedia, modern English. So let's go to the modern hijack, mind bone, hijack city. Let's go. A cult is a social group that is defined by its unusual religious, spiritual, or philosophical beliefs. So it could be either or. You could have different philosophical beliefs and be called a cult. You could have different spiritual beliefs and be called a cult. Is keeping the code different? Yes, Managa, because ain't nobody doing it as a whole, right? In religion, number one rule is most high over everything, and they bringing in, oh, praise JC, praise JC. They in love with JC. They ain't in love with they ain't in love with the Creator. They're in love with someone else. They're going through someone else to get to the Creator. So by us saying most high over everything, put the Creator first, nothing beside the Creator, nothing next to the Creator, only HaWah, that's very unorthodox. I mean, that's very unusual. That would be defined as an unusual spiritual belief. To put the Most High over everything. As simple as it is. As simple as it is. Putting the Most High above all is weird. What you mean? I want to praise JC. I want to praise Muhammad. I want to praise some other prophet. No, Most High over everything. Because only then can you have a recon into your nobility and go into your press to flow. But you don't have to go through that to get to the Creator. You go directly, most high above all. Now that's weird to the world because they ain't teaching you that. The Jehovah Witnesses ain't coming into your neighborhood teaching you to put the Creator first. They want you to follow JC and the doctrine that they've put together around this Zeus. Because that's just Zeus. Because when the hijacks came over here, they came over here with Zeus. They came over here with Jupiter, which turned into Zeus or Jesus. That's Zeus, man. They repackaged Zeus into Zeus or Jesus or Jesus. It's the same Zeus. It's the same Zeus. It's the same Jupiter. It's the same winter solstice. It's the same veneration day. So anything against that, according to in modern English, a cult is a social group defined by unusual spiritual or religious or philosophical. You getting philosophical? You got a different thought in your mind bone? You're a cult. Let's go. www.dictionary says a particular system of religious worship, especially with reference to its rites and ceremonies. Oh, you keeping your feast days? You keeping your Passover? You Baruch Pesach? You popping off the feast days that venerate when when the tribe of HaWah was redeemed? These are times when you were victorious. These are your victorious checkpoints that HaWah told you to remember. But that's a unusual, unorthodox religious rite or ceremony. So you see how broad and generic this definition of a cult, and we about to get it for a body bag. Britannica, cult, a small religious group that is not part of a larger. Whoa. So in perspective, even though I don't think we small, because I think the Nagas in Nagaville are the many. We're the majority, but it's small to them because, to them and their party, they're the majority, right? Their Christianity, their whatever is the majority in America, right? So you're a small part of your KTC. Managa, you're a small part, because even the Nagas in Nagaville have been hijacked to be in the mind of a hijack. They in the mind bone of a hijack. So they would call us the smaller of the larger, which in definition would be a cult. You know what I mean? So it's a small group that is not part of the larger or more accepted. Of course, back to perspective of who's being accepted and who's saying you're accepted and you're not accepted. What else? Last one, we'll get a couple more out of this. The definition of a cult is a group of people with extreme dedication to a certain leader or set of beliefs. Leader or set of beliefs. So it's not like you're, some look, this case by case. Some people might be idolizing a person like JC, or you can have an extreme dedication to HaWah. They say extreme dedication to a certain leader or set of beliefs. And if HaWah gives us something to dedicate and something to observe, as in not killing, not stealing, putting the Most High first, no adultery, don't break your oaths, no false witnessing, no covetous. You don't want to jack everybody's stuff because you want it so bad. These are beliefs to them. To us, it's reality. But we are on the inside of the fence, not the outside of the fence, popping off. Why? So, because you're on the inside of the fence, you're going to have a different perspective than somebody on the outside of the fence. Yeah, man. So, because you have a devotion, an extreme devotion. All right. So, a system of religious beliefs, especially one not recognized as an established religion or the people. Man, look. So it's all about what they're recognizing. That to them would be a cult. And just for the dismount, man, I'm over here in this 1828, you know what I mean? And, they don't even have cult in the 1828. They have like cultivate. They go from culprit to culter to cultivatable or cultivable. See, capable of being tilled. All right, so we're back to the culture. Cultivator, cultivation, and then they got culture. And you got to think about this. So we do it for the culture. And culture is a good word. Culture. So culture. You have a different definition in your mind of culture than cult. So the base of the word culture is some negative, demonic, satanic, because this is what they put in your mind bone. Yet culture or cultivate has everything to do with tilling the land. I mean, that should just, wake you up right there. When they go into cultivation, the practice of tilling, preparing for crops. But we got land and we're called a cult because Nagas is building a fence, preparing for crops. We're cultivating, and thus we're being called a cult. We're doing it for the culture, but the cult is wrong, but the culture is all to the good. And that one letter rule, even they have the word C or KELT as one of the roots of cult. And that KELT is Celt or Celt. You know what I'm saying? You look at the Celts, you're going to get an Israelite connection when you get to the origin of all these so-called barbarians, so-called savages. These are Nagas, these Vikings, these VI or Roman numeral 6. That's 6 kings, Celt, cult. You know what I mean? Then they end up hijacking all these cultures into this barbaric, satanic, demonic, whoever they're demonizing, whoever these savages are calling savage, it's probably you. It's probably you. Because you're the culture, which means you are the cult. Your culture is separate than their culture, huh? Your culture to them would be so different. You know what I'm saying? Just a small part of their whole. Their perspective of your culture, would be unorthodox. Because you are dedicated to something that they're not dedicated to based on your philosophical beliefs or your spiritual beliefs. And if you're a cult leader, then you're leading the culture. My noggin? So what's a cult, man? Y'all got me popping off, man. As I conclude my Shabbat for MHOE, for HaWah, I'm dedicated to HaWah. I'm dedicated to the code, the statutes, the law of our Creator, more than Hijack City. So I guess I'm in a cult, and so I'm going to do it for the culture. And I'm going to lead the culture, because this is what we do as the function. All praise HaWah.